minutes?
Yeah, I meditate like this for a half hour.
Okay, good. All right. So we're going to close the eyes, and Amber, if you want to work on like a half lotus, and see where your knee goes with that. Just bring the top of one foot. Yeah, that's good. Yep. So your hands can be up or facing down. Just take some deep breaths to begin and start to settle and decompress. Each time you inhale, feel your spine get taller, reaching through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, keep that length, but settle and ground through the sitting bones. And I'm going to read from the meditations from the mat today. So just go ahead and trust your ears and just breathe normally. Marcel Proust said, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. As we wade through challenges, the opportunities, the joys, and the sorrows of our everyday lives, we must also honor our need to look upon our lives with new eyes. And the opportunity is always there. One morning spent in silence, an evening at a yoga class, an hour of quiet prayer in an empty church, or even an afternoon of meditation. With this, we rediscover, re-experience the truth of our lives and the roles that we want to play in them. So something that I've always been told, well, not always, but for a while, I can look for, I can try to get a fresh start by moving to the new city, or I can't.
Sorry.
Sorry, that's okay.
Sorry.
So I can move to a new place, have a new town, whatever I'm doing, find new friends, new group of friends. Wherever I go, I'm still there. So what it really is turning inward and finding a new perspective. Kind of goes hand in hand with, seeking or filling a void from external objects. This isn't something, we all do it at some point or another. But yoga gives us this gift of being able to sit with that, figure it out. And it starts with the awareness on our mat. When we're sitting still or moving slowly in a class, there is no escaping from ourselves. We are it. So as we go through these postures today that we've done quite a bit, and we'll do, they've been done for 5,000 years over and over again, try to have a new perspective with them. Whether it's just speaking kindly to yourself, just focusing on keeping that energy on your mat instead of around the room or something like that. Just something, a different perspective. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And then go ahead and blink the eyes open. Inhale, bring the arms up. Grab the left wrist and exhale, lean to the right. Inhale back to center. Grab the right wrist and exhale, lean to the left. Come back to center, bring the arms down. You can either switch your legs. I know, Valerie, you won't be able to do that really, but if you want to put the other leg on top or just sit normally, we're going to come into a twist here. So bring your left hand to the right knee or thigh or wherever you can go with your hand. Inhale, get tall first, and then exhale, rotate the right shoulder back. Exhale, come back to center. Other side. Right hand to left knee. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, rotate to the left. Release, come back to center, uncross the legs. We're gonna lie down on our back and actually do grab your block and grab, Valerie, your blanket. You know, aside from like a restorative class or even our Align class where we use a lot of props, I think it's important to just know when you can be supported in a regular pose by a prop. So, you know, most things are interchangeable, block or blanket, but for this one, for instance, we're gonna lift the pelvis and either bring the block underneath the sacrum or bring the blanket under the sacrum. And we're just bringing legs up here. So if you need more height, if you're using a blanket, just fold the blanket in half one more time. You'll know once you put your legs up if you need more height. Good, yep, and go ahead and bring your left leg up, bring your right leg up, and then feet together. And we want the feet to, you know, be perpendicular to the floor, so we're at like a 90-degree angle. If you have your feet too far forward, your abdominals are going to be working super hard and it might be pulling your lower back. If your feet are right straight up towards the ceiling, you should feel that balance. And the feet don't have to be active here or anything, just keep the legs together like you have one big leg. And then bring your hands to your belly. We're going to stay here for a few minutes. This is a restorative pose. It brings your body into the rest and digest mode. And what I want you to do is really pay attention to the breath here. So that way you can kind of be distracted by the tingling and the sensations that are going on in the body. We don't want to avoid that, but we can let that happen and also focus on the breath at the same time. So each time you exhale, I want you to really exhale completely and then pause before you take the new breath. Purposefully and consciously pause before you take the new breath. You'll feel the navel drop to the back of the body. And try to do this without feeling tension or having tension in the shoulders and the face. We're going to be here for 5 more breaths. So continue to feel that extra layer of relaxation in that pause. And then go ahead one at a time. Bring your left foot down first, slowly, deliberately, mindfully. Right leg down to the floor. Just take a pause here. And then lift the pelvis, remove your support, and bring your knees up to the chest. We're going to hug the knees, rock left to right. And then go ahead and bring the feet down so we can do a twist here. Now, something you can use the block for, or the blanket off to the side, is for your twist. So shift your hips to the left and then drop your knees to the right. And even if your knees can go all the way down, see what it feels like to have the knees drop onto the blanket or the block. And you can put the block at the flat setting. Yep, yes. And now extend the arms. See if this just gives you a little bit more rotation in the spine. If your hips are tight, you might find that the left shoulder comes closer to the floor. Or, just feel that extra support right now. Sometimes that's our new perspective. Allow ourselves to be supported, even if we can go all the way down. Amber, how does this feel for you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Are your legs able to relax like that? Okay, good. Stay here for a few more breaths. And if your arms are out of stretch, bend at the elbows and try to get a little bit deeper into the pectoral muscles. On your next inhale, bring the knees back up to center. Switch your support to the other side. Shift your hips back to center first before you go into the twist. We want to try to get a full spinal safe revolve here. So hips to the right, drop the knees to the left, and then extend the arms or have a bend in the elbows. On your next exhale, bring the knees back up, shift the hips back to center, and then we're going to take the left ankle to the right knee. Either stay just like this if this is the limit, or interlace behind the thigh. Draw the knee towards the body. Next exhale, bring the feet back down, other side, right ankle to left knee. Interlace. Go ahead and bring the feet down. Slowly roll onto your right side and lift yourself up. So we are going to go to hands and knees for a moment. Another place where you can use the blanket, right? So we'll do Betalasana. And just, you can use the blanket on the wrist too, but I'm pretty sure neither of you have wrist problems. Go ahead and uncurl the toes, lift the tailbone. You've been here before. This is a begin class, but you guys are not total newbies. anymore. So drop the head. Just move with your breath here. Warm up the spine. Add any movement you feel like you need here, to the hips, to the shoulders. And then go ahead and come back to center. We're going to take the left hand to the center of the mat, right below the face, and do a threaded needle here. So inhale the right arm up, and then exhale, thread it through. Just breathe here. And you can take that breath where you pause before the new breath. You can take that through your whole practice. It'll definitely force you to slow down the breath, which will slow down the mind. Exhale, come back to hands and knees. And to the other side, right hand to the center. Inhale the left arm up, and exhale, thread it through. Exhale to hands and knees. And then curl the toes under and get ready for downward facing dog. Suction cup the palms, lift the hips up and back, and pedal the feet out however you need to. If you just need stillness here, then just be still. Separate the feet hip width apart, lengthen through the tailbone. Ears line up with the inner arms. We're going to separate the feet to the edges of the mat. So nice wide stance here. You can get rid of your blanket or do it later. So nice wide stance. And we're going to start to walk the hands towards the feet. So with the feet being as wide as they are, this should give you some alleviation on your hamstrings, but maybe not. If you still need to bend the knees, do that. Press all four corners of each foot into the mat. And so you can grab the elbows if you want, or just grab behind the legs and just sit in this forward fold. Either one, you're still keeping the inner edges of the shoulder blades active. You're lifting the sitting bones. And you're dropping the head, letting it dangle. Go ahead and bring your hands to your shins and lift the body halfway up, flat back, shoulders back, strong neck. We're just going to take another breath here and just let the blood pressure even out a little bit. And then slightly bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, come to Tadasana. So feet come together. You can go to the front of your mat. Make sure you can see me here. We're going to do a couple of rounds of sun salutations. Do either of you have questions about Chaturanga or anything like that? Okay, we are going to do a couple of planks here and a couple of side planks, okay? But we're going to do it slowly. We're going to do it slow. First, Surya Namaskar A 2 times, okay? And then we'll add the planks as we go. Inhale, arms up, reach up as high as you can. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the head, look up. And then exhale, step back, and we're gonna stay in plank here. Make sure your wrists are either directly under the shoulders or in front of. Nice planks. I'm sure, Valerie, you've done plenty of these. So pressing out through the heels, lengthening through the crown of the head. Navel towards the spine. We're gonna lower all the way down chaturanga. So go ahead and shift your weight forward a little bit, get onto your toes, and then lower evenly. You can come to your knees first if you need to. Uncurl the toes and inhale to a cobra. Curl the toes under, exhale to downward facing dog. And we're gonna take 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale to look up and step forward. Exhale, fold, let the head hang. Inhale all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Good. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Let the head hang. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back to plank. Come to your knees. And we're gonna do a side plank here, okay? Options, there's always options. You can do forearm and just lift the hips this way. Or you can bend the bottom knee and lift this way, okay? You decide where you're gonna be, and we're gonna take 3 breaths. Okay, palm on the floor. 1. Good. 2. 3. Go ahead and come back to hands and knees and downward facing dog. Inhale, look up, step forward. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Inhale all the way up, palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. But we have another side. You knew it was coming. Inhale, arms up. This is the last time. And that'll probably be the hardest pose you do tonight. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back, lower to your knees, and decide what side plank you're gonna do on this side. So flip onto your left side and lift. 1, 2, 3. Lower down, hands and knees, and downward facing dog. Inhale, look up, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Okay, separate the feet about hip width apart. We're going to do Padangusthasana, Padahastasana. The first one, we are grabbing the big toes with our 2 peace fingers. The forward folds today, and well, we're in hibernation season, right? So anytime we can just release, relax, restore, go ahead and grab the big toes. And remember, you can bend your knees as much as you need to here. We're gonna inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, fold. So you're grabbing onto your big toes and letting your elbows bend to east and west or left and right. And just breathe here. Let the head be heavy. Now inhale to look up. We're gonna step on top of our hands so the toes go all the way up to the wrist creases. And the arms are gonna stay straight this time. We're gonna shift our weight forward a little bit and also bend the knees if you need to. We want that belly as close to the thighs as possible. Shoulders back, dangle the head. Inhale and lift the head. Bring your fingertips to the mat. Bring your hands to your waist. Press your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale here. Separate the feet. Toes point forward. Same idea here. Now, with the feet being apart, just like the down dog we did, your hamstrings should have a little bit of a break here. But just please keep your legs very strong, kneecaps lifted, quadriceps engaged. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Keep lifting the sitting bones until your head is dangling once again. Bring your fingertips to the mat. Untuck the tailbone. I know it's not really possible to untuck the tailbone, but that action of lifting the sitting bones is what we're looking for. Shoulders back. Inhale, look up. Bring the heels in. So we're coming into like horse legs here or goddess legs. Just bring your forearms up to your thighs. So you really have to squat here. And then we're just gonna kind of twist back and forth. It opens up the adductors, the inner legs, and then gives your shoulders a nice stretch too. Maybe it's just leg work here. Stop at the center, keep the knees bent. Inhale, bring the arms up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. And then press your feet to a standing position. Bring your feet back together. Mountain pose at the front of your mat. That wasn't as hard as planking. Okay, take another wide stance. From the heel, we're gonna rotate the right toes out. Left toes are gonna come in just a little bit. And we're gonna do a modified side angle here. So first, before we even do anything with the arms, just bend the right knee and be sure that your knee is lined up with your second and third toe. Don't let it cave in. We have to really use the muscle, the inner leg muscles for that. Looks good, yeah. Take your right forearm and bring it on top of the thigh. And then definitely keep the shoulder away from the ear. Left arm comes up and over to make this nice side angle. The pinky is gonna be towards the floor to get an internal rotation of the shoulder socket, good. Keep pressing the feet here. And it feels like you're squeezing the thighs towards each other and lifting. Take one more breath. Keep rotating that left shoulder back. Press the feet, inhale, come up. Good. Now take your hips and face whatever direction your right foot is, the front of your mat. Interlace your fingers behind the back. Now, I think we talked about this already as far as, you know, let your hips have the room to fully point forward. Interlace the fingers, lift the chest. Exhale, bend the knee, fold, bring the knuckles up towards the ceiling. So it's like this bowing warrior with a bonus shoulder stretch. Remember, you have a back foot, so keep some weight in the back foot also. Engage the abdominals, protect your lower back. We're taking one more breath here. Press the feet away from each other to help you come up. Good. And your back gets stronger every time. Release the fingers. All right, we're bringing the right toes in and the left toes out. So we can do our modified side angle with the left foot. So nice, you know, wider stance. Bend the left knee. Don't let it go over the ankle and don't let it cave in. Bring your left forearm to the thigh, right arm up and over. And we're trying to rotate so the chest is up towards the ceiling. Good. And that muscular action of lifting the pelvic floor, zipping up the deep transverse abdominals. Take one more breath here. Press the feet, come up. Good. Bring the arms down and switch your hips towards the back of the mat now. Adjust your foot as needed to get your hips to do that. So pick up your back foot or rotate on the ball of the foot. Yeah, be sure you're not tweaking the knee. And then instead of interlacing this time, we're going to either grab elbows or do reverse prayer hands. If you can do prayer hands, like just try it. Just try it and see if you can. And if this just isn't gonna work today, then just grab behind the back. Lift the chest and exaggerate bringing the elbows, or the elbows and the shoulders back actually to open up the chest to get to where you need to go. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the left knee and fold forward on the inside of the foot. Good. Be mindful of your engagement. Shift some of your weight to the back foot. Good. And the idea here is that we keep deepening that left groin and dropping the right hip to keep the pelvis even with the mat, parallel to the mat. Take one more breath. Don't lose the abdominals here. Press the feet away from each other to help you lift up. Good. Bring both feet together and then just come back to the front of your mat. Nice. I mean, obviously that's a difficult one, especially like for me, for my back, it was hard for a very, very long time. And I still have to be really mindful and careful. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and come into, we'll do tree tonight, okay? And just keep it simple. Let's focus more on the new perspective rather than, you know, going as high as we can, or who cares about the balance? Like if you need to keep your toes on the floor, fine. See if you can do something different in this pose. Maybe you don't usually keep your toes on the ground, and that way you can just have laser focus. All right, so decide where your right leg is gonna be. And you don't have to keep it here, just decide to do something different. It could even mean adding some arm movement if you're feeling sturdy, or focusing on that pause at the end of the exhale. We're going to take 3 more breaths here if we can. And then bring your hands in front of your heart. Point the right knee forward, extend the leg back to mountain pose. Good. Nice balance, ladies. Go ahead and do the other side. Find your tree. And also turn up the corners of your mouth. Smile while you're doing it. Take another breath. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Point the knee forward. That's good. Extend the leg and come back to mountain pose. Very good. All right. Separate the feet. Bring the right toes out. Bring the left toes in. So we're just gonna do, a little bit of movement here and try to follow it with the breath. Bend the knee just like we did with the modified side angle. This is the same thing. And your hips do the same thing in Warrior Two. Don't try to force them and compromise the knee. Rotate the left shoulder back and then extend the arms off the front and back of the mat. Good. We're gonna reverse this. Exhale, reach back. Excuse me. Bring it down. Exhale back. Bring it down. Last time. And bring it down. Keep the arms where they are, straighten the right leg, bring the toes in, pivot on the left foot to bring the toes out, bend the knee. Right shoulder stays back. Good. This time we're gonna do an up and down. So inhale, straighten the leg, arms up. Exhale down. Yep. Full inhale and exhale. Exhale down. One more time. Exhale down. Excuse me, I'm choking on my tea. Go ahead and bring the hands down, straighten the knee, bring the toes in, and bring the feet together. All right. Let's do one more balancing thing because you guys did so good at balancing tonight. And when that just means you get more of it. It's kind of like asking for patience. You get all of these ways to test your patience. Okay, and you can use the wall if you can. And Valerie, just do what you can here too. It's just gonna be a figure 4 like squat. Just be sure that the weight is in the back of the body when we do this. Take your left ankle to the right thigh. And we're just gonna sit back. If you feel like, you can go further on this, eventually to the block or to the floor, to the couch. Really using that heel of the standing leg. And now here's the fun part. We're gonna stand up, press the heel, and come up to a standing position, nice and slow. And then come back to mountain pose. Good. All just mindful, slow movements. Right ankle above the left knee. You can stay here and just keep the weight in the back of the body, or begin to sit back. And start to make your way back up. Keep the head lifted. Try to come all the way back to standing before you release. Nice, back to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Drop the head. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bring the left leg back and drop down to your knee, coming into a lunge. If you need to put the blanket under your knee, do that. Left hand is going to stay on the inside of the foot, and we're going to twist, right fingertips up. Go ahead and bring the right hand down. And we're just going to switch here. So right knee back, left foot forward. Right hand stays on the inside. Now, we can do this, and I mean, we're capable of doing this. How can you do it differently? Can you focus on the inner edge of the foot pressing? Can you just make sure that your wrist is okay? Focus on these things. Can you squeeze your thighs towards each other, towards the midline of the body as you lift your left fingertips up? Maybe even look up at your thumb. And then go ahead and look down, bring the hand down, and then bring that left knee back. We're gonna lower all the way down to the floor. So we're gonna come up into Cobra 3 times, okay? Something you can do with a blanket is put it under your hip points if you need to. We're gonna move into this slowly, bringing your hands to the lower ribs, all the way to the lower ribs. Tuck the elbows back. And we're gonna start by making sure the feet are hip width apart and pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. So your knees are lifted and the glutes are really, really activated here. You're not using your hands to come into this pose. The hands, you know, we could even just float them above the mat if we really want to see what muscles are working. All the muscles in the back of the body should be lifting us. So bring your awareness to the calf muscles, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back, the rhomboids in between the shoulder blades, and begin to lift. Take 3 breaths here. And lower down onto your left cheek and let your arms rest. Let the back muscles completely release. Bring your hands back to the lower ribs. This time, bring your hands to the edge of the mat. So we're just widening our arm stance here, but the elbows still point back. Set up your legs and really hyper focus on the muscles in the back of the body. Press your pubic bone into the mat, press the tops of the feet and begin to lift and breathe. Keep the neck nice and long. And lower, right cheek. Relax the arms. Last time. Bring your fingertips to the outside of your mat. Still lined up at the lower ribs though. Elbows back. Begin to engage. This time as you inhale and lift, imagine pulling your spine out of your waist, okay? So legs are anchored and you're lifting your heart and letting your heart be light. Inhale, lift. So in other words, we don't want to pinch the lower back, so keep it nice and long. And lower. Just lower onto your forehead. Bring your hands back to your lower ribs. Take a breath here. And then push yourself up to hands and knees. We're going to cross at the ankles and lie down on our backs. We'll take our counter stretch on our back. So after you're on your back, take a breath and then bring the knees up to the chest. Get the lower back squished. You can rock back and forth if you want. Go ahead and bring the feet back down. Okay. One more, actually, we're gonna go up 2 times in bridge pose. And if you're really feeling it tonight, like, you know, this is an evening class and you're gonna still have plenty of time to keep the nervous system, get it ready for bed. But if you want to do bridge and lift a leg, you can. We're going up twice. So if you decide to do it, you need to do, you know, both legs. All right, so just, yep, yep. So go ahead and prepare. And then inhale, lift. Interlace the fingers and get nice and sturdy. If you're lifting the leg, you'll have to have one of the standing foot in the center. Take 3 breaths wherever you are. And then lower. Release the hands, lower all the way down. Drop the foot. Rock the knees left to right. And then prepare for the other side. Heels close to the sitting bones, hip width apart. Inhale, lift. Maybe interlace the fingers. Still keep the back broad though. And then lift the right leg, maybe. Pressing the heels, that doesn't change. And lower. Take a breath and then rock the knees back and forth. All right, one more twist and then we're off to Shavasana land. So take the left leg, cross it over the right, drop the knees to the right. If you're able to grab the bottom foot, and if you want to grab the bottom foot, you can, and then use the right hand to put some pressure on the top leg. Bring it back. Uncross the legs nice and slow. Bring the right over the left. Drop to the left. And stay here or grab the bottom foot. Bring it back to center. Uncross the legs. We're going to do happy baby. So just grab the insides of the shins, or if you can grab the bottoms of the feet, you can do that. Either way, we're pressing the knees towards the floor, rocking left to right. And then slow down your rock. Bring the knees together, drop the feet. Extend the legs, bring the arms overhead and take a long stretch. Circle the wrists and the ankles, take a yawn. And then you can get ready for your Shavasana. So put on the socks, the sweatshirt, cover up with a blanket, turn the lights off. Whatever feels good here. Begin to soften the space between the eyebrows. Soften the corners of the eyes and the corners of the mouth. Unhinge the jaw, separating the teeth just a little bit. And then feel the throat, the collarbones, and the back of the neck completely release. Notice how this allows the shoulder blades, the tops of the shoulders, and the entire arms to release and to sink into the floor. Bring your awareness to the abdominal area. And each time you exhale, feel the navel fall deeper and deeper towards the back of the body. And notice how this allows an unraveling of the hip joints. Feeling the thigh bones drop to the back of the legs. Feeling a release underneath the kneecaps, into the shins, the calf muscles, the ankles, and even the arches of the feet out through the toes. Feeling complete release and relaxation from your head down to your feet.